Greetings and blessings. Welcome to Medz with Judah. Today, on this day, we're going to be talking about the ego versus the soul. For those who do not comprehend these things correctly, we're going to give a little insight of the first post that we ever posted on Facebook of our writings. And you can see that at facebook.com/official Lion of Judah. You could also go to officiallionofjudah.com and you can find in the Lion of Judah Truth section, which is a blog of thousands of writings. A lot of information. If not thousands, it's at least hundreds, close to 1,000. I know on Instagram there's over 1,000 posts. So, still have a lot of updating to do. So please bear with me. Life always gets in the way when we have things that we need to do. Our plans change when life happens, yes? So we begin. I'm going to read to you what we wrote so you can comprehend it through the way that it was meant to be heard. And we may have a little discussion after that. If you have any questions, if you like, please share. Please help educate your family members, your brothers, your sisters, your loved ones. Allow them to see that the ego and the soul are two completely different things. And if we don't listen to our soul, our ego can be manipulated by outside forces that we accept and therefore becomes our master. And no man can serve two masters. This is why I submit myself to the Most High God. Jah. Every time. Yah. Yahweh. Tetragrammaton. And there are ways to get there. If you really care enough for a living, make it a better place. For you and for me, Michael Jackson said. So let's begin. You've all ventured my way for one reason and one reason only. You may not know this reason yet, but that's okay. When the synchronicities start to become apparent and you become aware of them, only then will your life change for the better. I beg you to read what I have to say with an open mind. Cast no judgment, as I have cast no judgment upon you. Yet, I know not of the life you have lived, and you know nothing of mine. But we can all agree it has not been an easy road. Until now, at least for me. We all have that feeling deep down inside that something is not right. Now take a pause. I created a hashtag called Something Is Not Right in 2015. If you tap that hashtag, you will get so much works from the beginning until it stopped, where I changed the hashtag to a more progressive one. Everything is compartmentalized and in order online. And my entire Instagram account is a book. My entire Facebook account is a book. And when you click and tap these hashtags, it's a book that you get to control which part and what adventure you get to read and where you go. Even though it's in order of my life, it still is always connected via the hashtags. So, as we continue, for some, it may be more apparent than others. If we were to take our heads out of our phones and actually see the world around us, turn off the television, radios, computers, and go for a walk, talk to random strangers, meet new people, one can see how beautiful the world truly is. One can leave judgment behind and fear of being judged to be free again. That nasty feeling of anxiety, uneasiness, and stress still resides in every one of us. But it can be dealt with very easily. We have to know where it is coming from. Our beautiful planet is dying, and the only one to blame is us. Yes, you. Though you may think you are not to blame, the problem lies within all of us. Before you get all angry for no reason and throw a fit, take a deep breath and let me explain to you what you are refusing to see. Remember, it's not your fault. It is your conditioning. But if you want to change that, continue to read. The biggest and probably the only main problem with humanity as a whole today is our ego. Yes, we all have one. And yes, we are all part of humanity. If you are a human, you don't get to choose if you are part of it or not. You did not have the choice to be born, but you do have the choice to be born again. Now, to understand what I'm telling you, you need to understand what the ego is. It just so happens I'm going to explain it to you. I try to explain things as if a 4-year-old can understand. This way, there is no confusion, miscommunication, or negative connotations attached to my explanations. The ego is ultimately one's opinion of themselves. Before I can go further, I must explain the word opinion. An opinion is a false truth, therefore a lie. For there are many truths in different scenarios, but inevitably there is only one truth. So when we human beings have dogmatic opinions of ourselves, we are lying to ourselves and believing our own lies. I like to call this a diabolic way of thinking. Now, diabolic has nothing to do with the devil, as this twisted English language has made you to believe. The original Greek and Latin translation means tearing apart. Diablo and diabolic are two very different terms. Now you can see where the corruption lies in this language and in the churches that preach misinformation. There is no devil in Greek mythology, so one must ask a question. Why instill all this fear into the hearts of the young? Why give a word a meaning that is not the truth? How can we trust someone who lies to us? Well, that's a topic for another post. Would you believe me if I were to tell you the hardest language to learn on this plane of existence is English? Funny, I know, but it's the truth. All these things have a purpose. Getting back on point, with our chaotic thought process, this in turn feeds your ego, because your ego is very aware of what it's doing and it is a hungry monster. It's selfish, greedy, manipulative, negative, powerful, and it makes us weak. Just as we have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, we have the ego and the soul. Our souls get energy from love and from our Creator. Once your mind is free from ego, and it is a task to do this every day, we learn to allow the love to flow in from the source. I would like to divert to what I mentioned earlier, subconscious and conscious being two separate entities. Now, there is a meme that I posted on this page that can be seen here on the video. Ego versus soul. The ego seeks to serve itself. The soul seeks to serve others. The ego seeks outward recognition. The soul seeks inner authenticity. The ego sees life as a competition. The soul sees life as a gift. Ego seeks to preserve the self. Soul seeks to preserve others. Ego looks outward. Soul looks inward. Ego feels lack. Soul feels abundance. Ego is mortal. Soul is eternal. Ego is drawn to lust. Soul is drawn to love. Ego seeks wisdom. The soul is wisdom. Ego enjoys the prize. Soul enjoys the journey. Ego is cause to pain. Soul is cause of healing. Ego rejects God. Soul embraces God. Ego seeks to be filled. Soul is eternal wholeness. Ego is me. Soul is we. As we continue, Dr. Bruce Lipton explains that in our years from 0 to 6, we are the most impressionable. We are sponges just soaking up as much information that we can handle. Our surroundings have a huge contributing factor to this. So as many can see, children who have grown up with loving relationships, integrity, morals, and spiritual environment usually turn out full of love. Those brought up in a less fortunate environment tend to have a negative lifestyle and resonate with lower vibrating energies. Of course, there are the few that will stop at nothing to show love, and their life is a complete role reversal. With that in mind, here's an example. When you drive your car, you are actually not driving. Your conscious mind is busy thinking of all the worries you have. What's for dinner? I have so much work to do tomorrow. I'm hungry now. I wonder what Ted is doing. I need to text him. So if your conscious mind is doing all of this, who is driving the car? Well, your subconscious, of course. You automatically press brakes, press gas, indicator on, indicator off, if needed. It's been preconditioned into your mind of how to drive. This is the truth, and this is the scientific fact. I highly recommend Bruce Lipton's work. This particular information was in my favorite book for his series, The Honeymoon Effect. So now we have a deeper understanding of how we actually work as human beings in a mind, body, and soul. We can easily change all of our conditioning by doing one thing. Live in the now. It's as simple as silencing your brain, becoming aware of your bad habits from conditioning that are not even your own habits in the first place. Bruce Lipton and millions of others have done this, including myself. Everyone can do this, but you need to want to change and come to terms with the battle of the ego and the soul. I've attached a picture to show you how simple the world really is. The picture is a quote of Eckhart Tolle, and it is a picture of the Buddha, of a statue of a Buddha on top of a mountain. And it says, the ego says, I shouldn't have to suffer, and that thought makes you suffer so much more. It is a distortion of truth, which is always paradoxical. The truth is that you need to say yes to suffering before you can transcend it. Eckhart Tolle. That's a quote from him. He has some good things, he has some bad things. He's human. So, we continue. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on this, and I am but a message away if you have any questions or ideas. My next post will be about meditation. Meditation is the secret to awakening the mind and unlocking the secrets of our soul. I hope you enjoyed this, and it would mean the world to me if you can share, please. Let's help everyone gain the same knowledge so we can all become the wiser. Can you imagine a world with like-minded individuals working together with love for the greater good? It sounds a bit like heaven on earth to me. I love you all. This is the truth, for your truth is my truth, as my truth is your truth. There is only one truth, which is the only truth. That is everyone's truth. One love, one heart, one life, one world. We are now July 3rd, 2022. The third day of July, 2022. If you go back to the beginning of when these posts on the social media platform started, you'll see a story that has been written. For those who have eyes shall see and read and enjoy, and those who have ears will hear and connect the dots. They will find that it's a wonderful read or listen. And in that, you will see of how everything that has been done is from the end going backwards to the beginning. Rather than start to end or finish, it is finished to beginning. Everything is done in reverse. Because the end is already written for us in Revelation in the Bible. So if we already know the end of how it ends, therefore we must plan accordingly to live by that standard. That is the wise mind of Emperor Haile Selassie. That is the wise mind of all who have written such great text of past. So I hope you enjoyed this. I pray that you enjoyed this. This is, again, years ago. And you can see how things have grown and shifted as the foundation was set in love. How you start something is how you end it. And in that ending, it's going to end in love. So with that, I end this with love. And give thanks to the Most High for all
of you who have listened to this thus far and continue to share this and spread this amongst your people. May the blood of Christ wash over this message, wash over you and your family and your loved ones. Hold the faith. There's work to be done. Many people have different perspectives and perceptions of reality, but in the end, it is only the truth that will align. And every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall tell that Jah is the highest. Jah bless. Oh yes.